I think we'll continue to do data integration as long as you treat it as a project.
Right. That's right.
Richard,
Yes.
in his presentation, he said,
Right.
if you treat it as an infrastructure, then probably there will be a day where you build systems that are integrated with what you already have, rather than building a separate data integration framework and project and then putting time separately for it. So I believe that if you're solving a business problem, the data integration part needs to be part of it, rather than as a separate line item in a project that comes after a particular application is put in, etc. In any case, to answer your question, like data integration projects, how long do they take, how big they are, and what is the effort involved? Because we're not estimating anything here, because we haven't looked at the requirements. But again, I'm talking project, right?
Right.
Rather than strategic infrastructure. So data integration, if you really look at it, because we are looking at it as projects today, still people look at it as projects, and we can't really avoid it because there are so many things that are built and they're not integrated. So we need to do it, and it is going to be a project at this point in time. Maybe in future, perhaps not. So biggest issues there is why projects take long is because people come in and they try to integrate data which they don't understand. And there is no way for them to understand the data because they come in new into the organization, or even if they have spent some years, there is no documentation, and a lot of it is in the heads of some people. And you're talking about legacy COBOL. Of course, I didn't start with COBOL. I started with PL1. But in any case, there are many applications that are built in legacy. I'm not saying legacy, not only legacy, even 2-3 layers, down there. Like for instance, even in some of the client server and web applications, we have given what you call meaning to the value in the fields. For instance, if the first byte is this, it means that particular warehouse. Second byte is this, it means it's a product type, or customer category, whatnot. And with all that and the meanings of those changing, it's not just a fragmentation of the data alone. You have fragmented every data element and then given meanings to each of the fragments. And then data integration becomes even tougher with that, because that thing is not usually documented. And a lot of it is documented in the code, because they use a substring and say, the first byte is this, do this, the second byte is do this, and then you need to understand what that means.
Right.
And projects generally take the waterfall methodology. You build the PRDs, and then you bring some analysts, and then ask them to do the mappings, and so on and so forth. And finally, somebody codes it, tests it, and tries to move to production. They take 1.5 years, is it? Or maybe 2 years, because I was working on a large, not me, like our company, a large federated data warehouse build out, and then by the time we are done with the design, the data changed, the requirements changed, everything changed. Then you have 2.0, 3.0, and a lot of Informatica mappings, believe me, that we have written.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking how to accelerate it. Of course, we are using agility in every project today, right? Use agility here also. I really don't know what the agility is meant, but I think you have given a very good slide on what is agility with respect to this Informatica platform here. So basically, you need to build prototyping. And whatever you write as mappings or business requirements, don't do it on the paper or in Excel sheets. Do it in the product. I'm sure your product allows you to do it.
That's right.
So if you do it in the product, that can be used at a later stage. And the fundamental things on these kind of things in the product, teach them to the business users. Don't rely only on the... So when we first did a data model for a data integration project, large one, I insisted on the business users to be there as part of the review. And business users said, we can't review the data models, we don't understand them. I said, it doesn't take long for us to teach you how to read data models. It gives us 2 hours. So in 2 hours, we told them what a star schema is and how to read dimensions and facts. And then how to even read the traditional ERD so that they can relate to their operational systems and the data warehouses that we are building, and see how the mappings are being done. When they come back and say, no, you may be thinking this is what it is, but this is not, because I've been in the business for 20 years, I understand this field. Then you are able to correct your integration platform with the model that you have built for them with the help of the users. So you involve the users, and then you can definitely do the projects much faster. The business users. Of course, you have to build reusability into it. Your vibe definitely should help there. There are good vibes there. So you virtualize the integration. And, I think it's not the question, it's a different question. I'll probably have a separate question on it, but you need to think of data quality also when you're actually
Right.
building data integration.
I was thinking
Yes.
Soap would take that
Yes,
up.
you will definitely take it up. I'm not taking it up.
Okay.
And you need to build as much automation as you can into your processes. For instance, if some people are able to say, this is my source, this is a target, I would even challenge, why can't you come up with automated mappings to the extent you can come? And then you can go and change if you think the mappings are different. And of course, you need to always write the translations.
Right.
And the testing can definitely be automated because once you build the mappings, we have developed tools. Of course, many companies must have done it also, where you can actually write code on your source platforms to extract all the summaries, etc., and then also write code on this integrated platform to get the summaries out and then compare them. So data validations, data comparisons, all this you can automate, and you should be able to automate. If you do all that, you can definitely do projects much faster.
Thank you.
So that's what it
Thank you,
is.
Mr.Chary. That was a very informative response.
Yes, for successful data projects, data integration projects, and this question says how he wrote your business, right? If you allow me to spend a minute on digression, like for instance, the businesses that are not run, properly, the IT businesses, or the IT departments, and where it is chaotic and level 1, level 2 of CMM or something that you can call, those are the companies that have heroes.
Okay.
And those are the companies where there are problems, and then somebody runs to fix a problem and say, yes, I'm a hero, and the covers open from, I don't know which century or which year it is, and back in 2014 again. So you have those ones. But in the companies where you go through, all the principles properly and everything else, and everyone is a hero there.
Right.
There's no hero distinction. So just to keep that in mind, what, I think, I agree with both of you. It is, and definitely you, where you talked about the businesses starting shadow IT. So the ITs must get all the knowledge that the businesses have, which is not that easy to do. So however you need to do it, you need to ensure that there are experts who can understand the business, who can understand the data, that are part of your team. And then of course you can be a hero. Then you should be very close to your business users, understand their requirements. You may want to build something, but business users may want something else. So prioritize based on what they want, so that you can be a hero in their eyes, ears. And you have to lay emphasis on the data governance, especially the data projects,
Right.
data stewardship. Who owns the data? You will never want your business users think that you are modifying the data, you are meddling the data, etc. You always want them to think that data is yours. I am implementing a system that allows you to manage your data, and I am integrating your data. So data is never ours. I dealt with DBAs, and I have been in DBA item sometime myself, where they felt the databases they own. They never owned, they only managed, they governed. So likewise, the IT guys never own the data, they only manage it. So identify the owners and put the ownership on them. And improve your time to market with everything that we talked about in the project management, or the how to make it faster and better. Security, ensure that there is security in what you build. Whether you have to encrypt the data, or whether you have to ensure the data is available, I think you talked about it. And avoid all the legal issues that people may get into at a later stage. And any other things that you need to do, the development environments, the testing environments, how do you ensure that the data is masked so that those people don't see the data, all that you need to ensure it happens. And I think the last thing, to be a real hero, of course, data integration you can always talk about. I will take one picture, one box that you showed in your presentation there, the MDM. And ensure that you propagate MDM within your organization, and ensure that they buy into it and implement it. And once you did it, because most integration is around master data. And once you put master data in one place and allowed every application to use it, or at least mandated every application should use it rather than having their own master data, you have actually avoided 90-95% of your integration issues.
Right.
Then you can be a real hero. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much.